There are some things in life that on paper, they just sound so stinking good. But in practice, they just don't work very well, right? There's lots of those sort of things. And today we're talking about one of them. And it is the TSP annuity and annuities in general, okay? We're going to talk about that. Now, this topic does get confusing, so buckle up, get your notepad and pen out, take some notes, because this can be super, super helpful, especially if you're considering an annuity. I'm not saying it never makes sense. Just hang on, hang with me, and we'll dive in today. Now, if you're new here, welcome. So good to have you. My name is Dallin Hawes, financial planner, serving you folks as federal employees, helping you get the most information you possibly can to have a great retirement. That's the goal, right? Have a great life, have a great retirement, and all these little details, they matter. They make a big difference. They add up over time, and they compound to have success or failure, right? And we want to make sure you get the most out of everything. And your TSP is a massive deal. I've got tons of videos. I've got a free TSP book in the description below. Tons of things about the TSP, but this is a big one. And that is, should you take the TSP annuity option when you retire? So what am I talking about when I talk about the TSP annuity? What I'm talking about is when you retire, one of the options to get money out of the TSP is to take what they call an annuity, meaning you hand some of your money over to an insurance company. They say, hey, thank you for that $200,000, right? I will now guarantee a monthly payment of XYZ of this amount for that. So I will guarantee that for the rest of your life, that monthly payment for the rest of your life. Right? That is the basics of an annuity, which on paper sounds wonderful, right? Guarantee. We like guaranteed money. That sounds great, right? So where's the rub? Now, before we get into the major rub on why this sort of thing doesn't really work in practice for many, many people, is let's clarify some terms. When we say annuity, this word gets used in different ways in the government. Number one, it's used for your pension. For example, when they say, hey, your FERS annuity, that also refers to the monthly check. Let's say you retire from the federal government and you're eligible for a pension, then you're going to get a monthly check just for being a federal employee, right? For being a federal employee, putting your time in and paying into the pension system, right? You'll get a monthly check from that. A TSP annuity is completely different. It's completely different. It's separate. It is taking money from investments like an IRA, 401k, in this example, your TSP, and handing it over to an insurance company to create a monthly payment. So while they both are called annuities, just so you know, on any of my content, I'm going to call your FERS annuity your pension. I'm going to call that. And anything that has to do with like the TSP, I'm going to call that an annuity, right? Anything to do with going to an insurance company and buying an annuity, that's what I'm going to call an annuity, just to clarify terms, okay? Now, what's the rub? What's the downside of having an insurance company guarantee your money lasts for the rest of your life? That sounds wonderful, right? That sounds great. What's wrong with that? Well, sometimes nothing. Sometimes it works great. But here are the problems. First, it's a one-way street. And in general, I don't like one-way streets. Have you ever driven downtown in an area and there's one-way streets? First, it's a royal pain. Okay, let's get that out there, right? And what do I mean by it's a one-way street? Is once you go down this path, you can't turn around. Once you decide to get an annuity and you finalize and say, let's do it, it's kind of set in stone. Depending on the annuity you get, if you get a TSP annuity, right, there's rules, but if you get a different type of annuity, there'll be other rules. Long story short, it's very hard to reverse, if impossible. Sometimes impossible. Otherwise, sometimes very difficult and expensive to reverse. Right? So in finance and personal finance and retirement planning, I don't like those types of decisions as a general rule. I don't care what it is. If it's a one-way decision where you can never take it back, you can never reverse it if things change, it makes me nervous. Right? It may sound like a great idea today, but what about tomorrow? What about in 10 years? Think about what your life was like 10 years ago. Was it a little different? Your life is going to be that different in another 10 years. Okay? Think about it. You want flexibility. That's huge. It's huge. Okay. What's the next thing to think about? So again, what an annuity is you hand over a lump sum of money to an insurance company, and you could do your entire TSP if you want. You can do part of it, whatever. You could choose the amount, okay? And basically what the insurance company does is they say, look, we're going to guarantee that this payment lasts for your entire lifetime, or let's say your lifetime and your spouse's. You can pick, right? However you want it done. And depending on what you pick will determine the amount on exactly what you get. And let's say you retire and it's the best day of your life. You're like, okay, tomorrow I am going to go to the beach. I'm going to do my thing. What if you pass away that night before you enjoy your retirement at all? What happens to that $500,000 you just gave to the insurance company for your annuity? Well, that money's gone. That money's gone, right? Now, what happens if you live to be 120, right? Well, the insurance company is going to continue paying you that monthly payment until 120. That's how it works. It'll last for as long as it's contracted to last, whether it's your lifetime or your spouse's lifetime or both, right? But if you die right away, or both you and your spouse pass right away, then it's going to go away. It's gone, right? There's nothing left over from that annuity generally for things like kids or charity, right? It's gone. So it depends what your goals are. If your goals are to leave a bunch behind after you die to kids, maybe it doesn't make sense, right? Long story short, when it's gone, it's gone. There's nothing left over, which for some people that works great, right? Let's say someone's single, they're not worried about it, they don't have a spouse to take care of, they just don't, there's nothing to worry about. They say, look, it'll last for my lifetime, and then when it's gone, right? That can be a plus, that can be a minus, depending on your situation, okay? That's next. Okay, so what's the last thing, okay? The last thing is an annuity is what they call fixed income or a guaranteed income, right? Fixed income, like your pension, like Social Security, those sort of things, okay? And it is, believe me, it is really, really important and nice and really helpful to have some fixed income in retirement. Having a pension like U.S. federal employees have, which is amazing, right? Having Social Security, right? I've talked with some federal employees that have like 6 or 7 pensions, right? Between their spouse, between them, between their military time. They just have so many pensions, which is cool. It's awesome. But you can take it too far. You can have too much guaranteed or fixed income, right? And that may sound weird because people's like, okay, why isn't more income or more guaranteed income always better? Well, the reason is we want flexibility. So let's do an example. Let's say half of your income in retirement is fixed, meaning it's going to be there every single month, regardless of what your investments do, whatever, regardless of that, you got half your income, right? Which is nice. So that means the other half is variable, meaning it's from your TSP, which you can invest, which will go over time, that sort of thing, okay? Well, when you have that sort of setup, having the fixed portion is really nice because regardless, again, what your investments do, whatever, you got at least half your income set. But if we take it too far, let's say you turned your entire TSP into an annuity, so all you had was fixed income, all you had was your pension, Social Security, and a TSP annuity, where you didn't have any investments anymore. It was all turned into fixed income. Well, again, what if something changes? What if you need a little sum extra before that monthly payment comes in for XYZ? Maybe a big opportunity, a big trip comes up, or whatever, right? Things change over time. The tax rules change over time. Maybe you don't want to take out as much. Maybe whatever. There's so many variables and things that could change down the road. And so it makes me so nervous when people lock in their choices based on today's fact for the rest of their life, right? That makes me really, really nervous. You want to have, as federal employees, you're fortunate. You have a really good mix of fixed income and variable income. Having TSP or investments is so crucial so you can adjust, right? Having some of your money ready to go. If something comes up, maybe you want to help your kids or your grandkids a little more, or maybe you don't need as much of it, or what if inflation is really bad and you want something that's going to grow with inflation over time? Well, you need investments, right? Those are the big things to think about. Now, again, I'm trash talking annuities and I know it, right? I know it. I'm not a fan of them. There can be times and places where they make sense. But as for federal employees, it's just rare. It's so rare that's why I trash talk them, right? Because most people I talk to, they just don't need them. They don't need them, okay? Now, with all that being said, if you say, look, I don't care. I want an annuity. I don't care the downsides. I want the guaranteed income, right? If that's the case, shop around. There's lots of companies that offer annuities, and so you want to find the ones with the best rates, okay? The TSP has a contract. The government has a contract with MetLife, which is a massive insurance company, to provide TSP annuities, but you certainly can go get it from somewhere else. The default, though, is going to be using MetLife if you just go through the default TSP annuity option, okay? So that's the food for thought. Now, another reason I'm not a fan of TSP annuities, back to my rant, is the fact that now the TSP has flexible withdrawal options. It's not super flexible, but fairly flexible, where you could tell the TSP, hey, look, send me $3,000 a month. And they'll do it. Right? They'll do it. And you can stop it at any time. You can increase, decrease at any time. You've got tons of flexibility. So the TSP used to be so inflexible that other options seem pretty good, right? But now the TSP itself, you could almost create your own TSP annuity, but have more flexibility built in just with some other options, other withdrawal options. So food for thought, food for thought. I hope that's helpful. Again, I talk about the TSP, how you should be investing in it, all kinds of great goodies on this channel. You could definitely check those out. I hope that was helpful. Have an incredible rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next video.